Financial Freeway. My name is David J. Atwood. I'm the man rocking the Ray-Bans. And we have, first of all, I have to apologize for not getting a video up for some time here. I've been struggling with forgetting to remove the old videos off of my memory, delete them, transfer them, all that stuff. And every time I go to record, I forget, and I'm 3/4 of the way through the video, and it just stops recording, and I was like, great, I gotta throw that one away too. So it's been a bit of a crazy month, to be honest with all of you here that are watching me and supporting me. It actually has been a bit of a crazy month with regards to just life in general. We've had Julia staying with us, which has been just amazing. My German has become so solid, having her around, because she forces me to speak better German. So every time I make a mistake, she's correcting me. And we've had a great time with her. It's been really, really lovely having her around. And it's been really great for Gabby, having her friend here from Vienna and having that connection to her past life. The tax season was a little rough for me, and I think I might have brought this up before. I kept putting my all my tax money into an account instead of leaving it in the bank. I thought I would put it into an investment account. So every month, instead of putting my money into just a regular savings account that you just grab the money, I invested it into a portfolio that I've been slowly building. With research and watching the trends and trying to not stay ahead. I never think you can stay ahead of the market, but at least be in the market and making some moves that I personally thought were good. And so far, to my good fortune or luck or whatever you want to call it, I've been doing really well. So when that was a self-congratulatory sip, by the way. I'm so good at what I do. So when it came time to pull the money out, I didn't want to pull it out because it was doing so well. I had the money to pay all my taxes off in this account, but I didn't want to do it because the money was my money was doing so well. I didn't want to lose out on those gains, so I left it and I did whatever I had to do to get through the month of July. Having paid all the taxes, the property taxes, my income taxes. It was a big bill, biggest bill I've had in a while, but I got through. I paid all my bills off. There was a couple of late payments there. A couple of things were deficient or insufficient, I should say, and I had to pay some penalties there. But I believe I did the right thing. I believe that going through the stress and the effort to keep my portfolio alive and well was the right way to do it. I didn't take any money out of my portfolio, and in fact, during this time, I've been still, putting a little bit of money every week. Every week I'm adding a little bit of money to these funds, and I was able to, at the end of the day, survive the month of July financially, and we're on the other side. The bills are now getting paid off, which I'm really excited about. There's a little bit of extra left over, so we can buy groceries and get gas for the truck and all this stuff. So, phew, did it. So again, we'll probably do it again. And if my growth keeps happening in my portfolio as it did this year, and I don't expect it to continue happening. I'm doing really well. I made some good choices. I just keep plugging away, knowing that There's going to be ebbs and flows in the market, and there's going to be changes in technology, which we're already seeing. There's going to be evolution in which way the market goes. Eventually people might stop drinking Coca-Cola, so I got to be prepared for that too. But until then, not that that's my only investment, by the way. How do I say? I think I have about 50 different companies that I invest in, as long with the majority of my investments are going into indexed funds. So, which I believe is the smartest thing to do. But I have enjoyed some gains in some other sectors of the market. So, anyways, got through it. Today is the day where I got money coming in from my customers. I got a paycheck coming in from work, and I did it. And it's funny, when it comes to life, people get very upset about the stress that they have to go through. And I tried to explain to somebody else was having a complete breakdown in front of me, and he started getting upset and angry and throwing things and swearing. I said, and it's so funny, when people are in this state, they don't want to hear advice, especially, the sage, gray-haired advice from someone like good old Dave. Stressful times never last. They never do. And on the other side of that stress that you're going through, that's where the profit is. That's where the success is. People don't realize this, even people who enjoy profit. You buy a house and you start fixing up, and there's problem after problem after problem after problem. You don't realize that is going through those problems, facing those little problems, like having a fight with a plumber who said he was going to be there on Wednesday. He doesn't show up till Friday. Having the fight with a supplier, having a storm come in and set you back a week or a month. All that stuff that stresses you out. You don't realize this, but 2, 4, 5, 10 years from now, when you go to sell that place that you went through all that stress with, you're going to be able to enjoy true profit. And people don't realize that is where you're making your money. You're earning your money. You earn your money when you're sitting there dealing with things that, and you're frustrated because there's people all around you, like your friends are like, what are you doing this weekend? We're going camping. It's a beautiful weekend. We're going camping. They've lifted the campfire ban. We're so excited. And then they ask you what you're doing. It's like, well, I'm going to be digging a trench in my house or in my new property so I can get I gotta get around this guy. So I can get my house hooked up to the sewer system. That's what I'm doing. And while everyone else is having fun, you're working. You're doing the stuff that nobody else wants to do. And there's an old saying, I love it. I really, really do love it. If you want to, bear with me here. I'm trying to drive and figure this out at the same time. If you want to have what most people don't have, you have to do what most people aren't willing to do. And this is kind of how I live my life. I live my life with that in mind. There are going to be a lot of people that just aren't willing to get up at 4:30 in the morning and bang out a couple of chapters, or write 1,000 words. Or there's going to be people that just aren't willing to go to the gym, or are just not willing to sacrifice that beer or that donut on. Today's donut day too, by the way. There is, if you want to get the gains and the profits that most people are never going to see, you're going to have to do stuff that most people aren't ever going to do. And like I said, one of those things that I like is getting out there and putting the work in. And every time I'm dealing with an angry tenant or a contractor that's not as motivated or as ambitious as you wish you would be, every time I'm dealing with all that stuff, I realize this is the work. This is where I get paid. Like, at the end of this, when this is all done, I had an electrician who was a good friend, who was doing all the electrical in one of the houses I have, and he's ripping out all the electrical. And halfway through, he says, oops, I made a mistake. I have to charge you double what I quoted you. I went with him, not because he was the cheapest. I did go with him because he was a friend. But he was cheaper than, say, 40% or 50% of the people that came and quoted on the job. And this is why part of the reason why I went with him. So I was a little upset when halfway through the job, he's going to charge me double what he quoted me at, which would have put him higher than any other electrician in the job. And I was kind of, at the time, I didn't realize how to deal with contractors, and I was handcuffed. I was handcuffed by his, by where we were at. It was frustrating. And he looks to me and goes, yeah, but you're going to make so much profit. And, you know, so I was like, no. I was very upset about the whole thing. But now, looking back on that, it was a small price to pay for what I have now. I now have a beautiful house that has wiring, electrical throughout it that's updated and I can trust, and was permitted. And the profits I've gained on that house now that I bought it and fixed it up are immense. They are enormous. So I am, and that's where I kind of came up with the idea that this is where I get paid. I get paid by these, you know, I'm not going to say I was ripped off, but definitely felt manipulated. You know, it didn't feel like I was getting the fairest deal out of it. But at the end of the day, the reality is that he got his $3,000 or whatever it was extra that he charged me. But I also now, you know, 10 years later, have a house that has more than tripled in value in 10 years. So if you're going through a tough time, I think it's really important to, it's okay to express your stress and get upset and, you know, say things and do things, and you know, well, of course, it's not okay to let your emotions take control of you, but it's okay to have those emotions. It's okay to get upset and emotional about it. Just remember, in the back of your mind, try to remind yourself, and this has always helped me when I get really, really overwhelmed. Like I did get overwhelmed last month. It was extremely overwhelming, trying to make sure everything worked out and made sure that there was enough money to keep the lights on and you know, the gas in the car to keep me getting to work. But the thing is at the end of the day, it's like, this is where I make my money. If I can hang in there and fight the fight and keep swinging, keep getting up, keep showing up, keep dressing up, keep doing what I need to do to get through, you will punch through on the other side. I've been there. I've done it. I've experienced it. You punch through on the other side and you are at a position and you don't even remember how stressful those things are. When they're cutting you a check for $500,000 more of profit, you forget how stressful it was. You forget the work that you put in. You forget the late nights, I mean, when I was building this one house, I was going to the house doing as much work as I could, because, you know, I didn't know carpentry. I knew floor laying. I knew how to do that. I knew how to lay a hardwood floor. I was just there cleaning up, pulling things in, stacking things, you know, doing dump runs every day. But I was there every day after work, sometimes every morning before work, in the summertime and before work. And then when on the weekends, my entire weekend was spent at these places, you know, fighting with spiders, fighting with what's that, silverfish, you know, fighting with I had a fight with a squirrel. A squirrel got into the attic and I had to chase him out and figure that out. And you do all these things, and when it's all said and done, you get to sit back, and having gone through that stress, and during that time, I do remember telling myself, this is where the work is. This is how you earn the money. Because it's so stressful, and it seems unfair, and it seems lonely, and it seems like you've got no one on your side. You're just doing this. Everyone's telling you you're failing, or you're not doing what needs to be done, whatever the case is, you feel like you're just fighting the entire world. And now when the developer comes up and says, hey, we need this property because our designs call for a bigger building than we had anticipated, so we have to come buy your property. Our hands are tied. What do you want? What's the check we have to cut? And when you're getting that check, and after your taxes are paid and you're ended up in this amazing spot which you never thought you'd be in, you have to remember that you earned it. And when people are going to call you lucky and all these other things, you were there getting bit, getting stabbed, getting burnt, getting electrocuted, getting stressed out, getting yelled at, getting mocked and embarrassed and talked down to by tradespeople. When you were getting all that done, that's where you earned it. So when you're sitting back and you're getting a nice big thick fat check because of these things you did, remember, when people call you lucky, just smile and say, yep, you're right, I'm absolutely lucky. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm so lucky. But know to yourself that you earned every bit of that profit. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate you watching me today on Financial Freeway. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Always give us a thumbs up because those really, really do help. And as I always say, check out financialfreeway23.ca. That's where the real good stuff is. Not just the fake good stuff, but the actual good stuff. The really good stuff. And finally, and this is the most important part, spread the good word, because what we're doing here is we're trying to teach people the way in which they can just to give them the understanding. And I think that's the key. That's the key that a lot of people don't get. Is it's not just about knowing what to do, it's having the belief and the understanding that anyone out there who really truly wants to can have a life of abundance, success, and happiness. I'm just trying to figure out which part of this. We're good. I got this. Anyone deserves and has an inalienable right to live a life of happiness and abundance. And we're good. Wherever you are in this beautiful world today, I want to wish you a really wonderful day. God bless.